Good morning, my friends. How are you? I'm just okay. I hope you can hear me. So, today I want to talk about that uh, my one of my dreams, which is doing nothing and just spending time hanging out with my family and friends. And okay, so I've had a little bit of technical difficulties here. So, we're just going to keep on rolling. So, just I want to have nothing on my plate. And I think about what we've become as a society, which is doing, 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 and having like this like badge of honor about how busy we are. And just, always having like just so busy, I got this, I got that. And I gave some of the examples in the text about what I hear out there, like, oh my God, I haven't had a chance to eat all day. I haven't had a chance to go to the bathroom all day. I'm so busy. And just being so busy that you don't have time for those things that normally are the reason that you're working so hard, right? So we work hard for a certain lifestyle and a certain benefit, and yet we don't get a chance to enjoy it. So I wanted to share a quote with you. And this quote is from Steve Jobs. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Yes. Your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. So my thought on this as I read it is that we have this dogma of overachieving, working so hard, doing so much. And what I want to do is just flip the switch from busyness to productivity, from busyness to time optimization, from being so busy that you can't figure things out to making time because you're so good with your time. I listened to a podcast last night that really struck home with me, surprisingly. And I have to just tell you, like, I listen to podcasts a lot driving the car, and I've been driving a lot. So I got to a podcast I saved that I don't listen to often called Growing Bolder. And it's about growing older, right? So they always have, their guests are always senior citizens. And last night was Susie Orman, who is 72, by the way. Pretty amazing, huh? So Susie Orman had just did this lifestyle change a couple of years ago where she just sold off her businesses. She stopped renewing her contracts, and she just like she owned an island. She sold off a bunch of properties all quickly. And she and her spouse went and moved to their island that they owned and went fishing, learned how to fish. They spent hours learning how to fish and all of these things. And what she said was, and I'm going to get this wrong, and I looked it up to see if it's actually a quote yet, like a quote that we can quote. It's not. So I'm going to have to listen to the podcast again and get her actual words. But the essence of it was the goal of doing nothing. She said, but I realized that I had this goal of doing nothing. I realized how little time I had to do as much nothing as I wanted to do. Something like that, right? So, meaning that I wanted to stop doing all this crazy forensic working so I could spend time, in this case, fishing on my island with my spouse. And so, and learning how to do this and like just spending that time enriching your life. And and interestingly, she ended up having, I want to say, a mass somewhere on her neck, I think. And she had some surgery, and and she's got some limitations now. And so she's finding time for, she just updated her Woman and Money book, and she's got a podcast going now. So she's gotten back into it a little bit. So it's interesting, like this again, this whole element of time. So my goal for you, and the reason I'm talking about this with you, is that this is like crunch time. I feel like everyone's in this mode where it's like, ooh, full day, blah, 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 right? And we're not honoring that time, like that nothing time. I'm not anyways. So I'm going to try to make it a goal. I mean, I do every morning get up early, so I have my own me time, but I want some nothing time. What about you? So please, I'm giving you my cell phone number. Text me your questions or comments. I want to start discussion here. I want to see if I'm on the right track on what you want, because I'm committed to being here as much as I can this time of day. Okay. So let's do nothing together. How does that sound? Make it an amazing yet boring day.